Welcome.
Welcome back, future viewers. Today we have some sightseeing to do. In particular, we're going to go jumping around the Grand Canyon.
Constructed in the Grand Canyon, enemy Army helicopter units continue to oppress the American West. The target area terrain is sure to be confusingly fierce because the enemy Army has taken over guerrilla bases from the Arizona insurrection days.
Oh my.
Please watch your steps and don't fall into the
I'm kind of impressed by the kinds of things that this game brings up. Yes, there were quite a few militias there, so in Melville Chaosverse, maybe there was an insurrection there. Wow. But that is the best mission name. They got some great mission names for these next couple missions. Well, we got some cash for this. There's a few things I'd like to invest in. The flamethrower is one of them. It'd be nice to show off what a flamethrower better than the default lowest tech one can do. So let's give that a shot. There actually aren't that many more kinds of flamethrowers after this. Well, what they do doesn't really vary a whole lot, unlike the many versions of, say, submachine guns you get. I'm thinking maybe we don't really need the multi-missile launchers so much anymore. Unfortunately, even though we also don't have much use for this this missile launcher either, we also don't have much to replace it with. I mean, okay, sure, I'll use this low-tech assault rifle, and by use I mean have it in my inventory, and we'll also equip the wrong flamethrower, but don't worry, I'll go back and fix that off camera. Yeah, that makes sense. I'm sorry, past me figured that I would use the assault rifle even less than the missile launcher, so...
a military base in the Grand Canyon. Doesn't this remind you of the Arizona insurrection days?
No. I don't remember anything.
Me neither.
Except the smell of blood and gun smoke.
Now, I figure he wasn't just talking about Arizona, he's just talking in general. This level is fairly interesting. At first glance it's fairly linear, but it has all sorts of little side areas that are worth exploring. We also get this new kind of helicopter enemy, and it's very useful to have the twin bazooka because a single M2 shot is not enough, but the twin works just fine. Although it is worth remembering that the two shots don't happen simultaneously. You have to hold your aim over them for a little bit longer to get both hits in. And speaking of side passages, here's one. And since this is close quarters, let's try out that new flamethrower.
Now that's what I call insight, sir.
Well, that seems to work reasonably well.
Watch your feet too.
Some scientists were among the POWs you rescued.
So that watch your feet thing, that isn't just an idle comment. You can fall off and you can die very easily in this level. It's very important to remember that ammo pickups do discriminate between whether your damage type is energy or not. So, for example, flamethrowers are always energy, and also there are certain machine guns that also deal energy damage, and those are all replaced by only specifically EN light ammo pickups. I believe those are a little bit more rare than the standard type, but you can find energy rounds every now and then. Also, that, for example, regarding watching your step, that could have been really bad just a minute ago. Also, I'm going to use the machine gun 200 sparingly because it's a little overpowered for right now, but I think this railgun is just fine. It takes so long to charge up that you have to use tactics, like charging while behind a wall. In fact, I'm pretty sure that's how this gun is meant to be used. It's also useful here because it's the longest range weapon I have that can take out things like that. The bazookas, they have okay reach, but not railgun reach. Also, it's a good idea to not stay on any of those bridges longer than you have to, because they are destructible, and they're kind of fragile. Also, if you're not really comfortable with air dashing yet, you're going to have some trouble in this level. There's quite a bit of jumping around to do if you want to pick everything up. And it's just useful for getting around places through the entire game. You've already seen me do that sort of thing quite a bit, but getting into the habit is useful in places like this.
It's a tiny target area, huh? Almost like a bird.
And if those metal bridges were fragile, well, just look at this wooden bridge right here. Yeah, using a flamethrower while on that wooden bridge seems like a great idea. Also, standing on that bridge while the enemy is firing missiles at me seems a little hazardous. So jumping all the way over there seems like a better move.
There's only one target area remaining. A little longer and this ravine will be back in its original state.
Something that Fromsoft games kind of have in common is that they reward moves like this, where you jump to a new place on the map without any kind of assurance that you can get back to where you were. There's some things that are tougher to get if you're not willing to do that. For example, walking all the way along those paths and down here to get to this camp would have taken a lot longer if I wasn't willing to jump. And especially on the bridges, it's helpful to remember that you don't really have to shoot at enemy infantry. You can just charge into them, and that's pretty much all you need.
Please be careful.
That reminds me, the soldiers actually have quite a few lines, and some of them are well, okay, this game is generally over the top, but those soldiers will sometimes say things like "annihilate all evil" as one of their stock lines, and of course that "oh my god" when you hit them with something, which is exactly what a U.S. soldier would say.
Mr. President, a fresh supply of troops is coming.
So you're Metal Wolf, eh? Then you can die for Sir Richard.
Sir Richard?
Oh ho!
What? Has he been knighted?
Going up against jokers like this is so tiring. I'll have to ask you to leave this stage before you get hurt.
Okay. Well, we got ourselves kind of a mid-boss. It does fire a lot of missiles, but then again, so do I.
Sir Richard! I'm sorry!
president. Hurry up and move ahead.
Well, tough battle, down to the wire. Battle was legendary. Also, nice demonstration of just how easy it is for those bridges to blow up. It's okay, I don't have to go back that way. By the way, these cave systems I'm going into are not shown on the map. This game kind of forces you to not rely on the minimap too much. I appreciate that. You can see the general layout, but there are a lot of places to go that you will only find if you're willing to look at the details right in front of your face. Also, flying around in a tunnel makes me nostalgic for Ace Combat. Granted, this game is a lot less punishing if you touch a wall. Bumping into trucks. So annoying. Once I'm past the bridge, I can shoot a couple of crates to see if there's anything worth picking up in there. And it's... you can probably guess what happens if that bridge gets destroyed before you shoot the camp. The backwards air dash. Very useful, although also impossible by this game's mech design. I don't care. If you still think this game is trying to take itself seriously, I don't know what to say to you. Oh, okay. I'm always interested in picking up new weapons. So I briefly mentioned that the MG200 is a little overpowered. How overpowered? Well, it's capable of taking out enemies for all of the missions except maybe the last two. So I may have overdone it with the research along that line. Oh well. Everyone loves overpowered stuff. Except maybe in competitive games, if someone else is using them. Then they might not like them so much.
Down to the Colorado River.
This is either very tedious and annoying or hilarious, depending on how much you're paying attention. But first, let's pick up one or two collectibles. Now, I know that you don't watch this action-packed satire of America and think, I want to know about energy pods. But I just collect things because I find it fun to show off where everything is, whether people care or not, I guess. Anyway, these very heavily reinforced fortifications are on an iron platform. But before I try anything interesting, let's shoot out that secret prisoner camp right there. I'm kind of glad that the game actually has the prisoners shout at you so you have a clue on where things are. Anyway, yes. The fortifications are very durable, but the platforms they're on are not so much. Someone should have thought about that.
Watch out somewhere in the California Bay. No, actually they'll get stuck in the Hoover Dam.
Oh, that's going to be a lot of work for someone to clean
The
up.
enemy
Ugh.
has been annihilated. Finally, peace will be brought to Arizona. War really doesn't suit these lovely surroundings.
Jody. Nor someone as lovely as you.
Sure, whatever. Nice work, Mr. President.
Now that takes guts. Just casually shooting down being hit on by the U.S. president. That, I mean, I think Jody is my favorite character of this entire game for many reasons. Not because she's badass, but because she's just a very strange sort of character. And I really like strange characters. Alright, well, that went reasonably well. Got lots of money from that one.
Jody, what's the
Man,
situation?
he's
on the
talking
ground
like
across America?
we're looking at a presidential
Areas
campaign
where the
instead of a
army is
war.
pulling out are on the rise. But across the nation, the situation isn't so good.
Don't worry. I'll free the whole land soon enough. Any email from the resistance?
Yes, there is. The man's voice is as cool as ever. Please have a listen.
I'll give it that.
Thank you. Our membership is steadily on the rise.
They must have worked really hard to find someone with a voice like that.
The day will come soon. When we're ready to rise up, I'll be sure and let you know.
The resistance leader sure is standing tough, isn't he?
Tough as nails.
We're gonna have to do all the work,
Liberate
though.
the West.
Alright, just one more mission left, and it is going to be a fairly short but interesting one. I hope you'll join me for it next time.
Welcome.
See you then, everyone.